Well, I always felt like I had to walk on eggshells, and my family members, they were just very like kind of like those nitpicky, nice, nasty people, and just like they wanted me so much to be like them rather than just like me being me. I don't know, because part of me just I wasn't like entirely too comfortable with myself, and I just feel like with being with a sibling, I feel like it would kind of help me with that confidence, because I made it into a mental institution for a while, and it definitely helped me to wake up and to start realizing, I got to take more control over my life and more control over my mental health. Like the angels are telling me, hey, I'm doing an awesome job.
You are.
Shout out to Daniel, my fiance.
That's what's up.
You're a queen, you're beautiful, and just because people don't see your worth or they don't understand you, it doesn't mean that you're worthless.
Alright. What's up, YouTube? Top Flight USA back with another one. How you doing, young lady?
Hey, how you doing? Hey, YouTube, what's up?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. So you got your work uniform on?
Yes, I do.
You just got off work?
Yes, I just came back from my second day at work, and it was awesome. I mean, honestly, I was doing good for my second day, and you should have seen me my first day. I was killing it.
Okay, so this is a new job for you.
Like it's like a new second job, additional job.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and how do you like it so far?
So far, it is amazing. Like, it's like my my other job. I used to work at Tropical Smoothie. Tropical Smoothie is banging, by the way. Shout out to my team at, not Timber Drive, but it was the one on Highway 70. Shout out to Highway 70.
Okay. Yeah, shout out to them. All right, well, let's get to know you a little bit. What's your name, age, and where you from?
So my name is Jay. I'm from Raleigh, and I'm actually I'm ready to leave Raleigh. I mean, Raleigh, for the most part, it's a good place to be, and it's just like relaxed and very like family oriented. But it's just like with me, I love vibrant. Like I love the go-getters. I love the people that are just like up front and just very colorful, charismatic, and it's just like with here, it's a little bit too conservative for my taste.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like colorful people too, like your hair.
Thank you.
Where would you think about going if you was to leave Raleigh?
That's actually a good question. Like I thought about going to Hawaii or California. I thought about New York. Maybe I could divide my time between New York and Hawaii or somewhere like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why so far?
Honestly, I feel like it would just give me a fresh new start, and because I feel like that particular part of the United States, I feel like it represents me because it's very sunshiny, rainbows, and it's more vibrant. Because it's not that it's not vibrant here, but it's just it doesn't match my vibe.
Okay. I can understand that. All right. Well, what side of town of Raleigh are you from? What side of town was you raised on?
So during the first half of my life, I was raised near Wake Forest.
Okay.
And then during the second part of my childhood, I moved here to the south side when I was about 10, going on 11.
Okay. Do you have a lot of family here in Raleigh?
Yes, I have a huge family now, just now being able to just get out and to get to know people. Now I have a huge support system, and then also have my day ones. Shout out to them. Shout out to Matthew. Shout out to Krista. Shout out to who else? I have a huge plethora. Oh yeah, shout out to Kayla Smith. She's an advocate for autism and for people that are neurodivergent. Shout out to her.
Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to all of those day ones. That's what's up. All right. Well, let's just get to know you as a person. Did you grow up in a two-parent household?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Was it your mother and your biological father, or maybe a stepdad?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really want to get too much into my family life. I mean, it's still kind of a sensitive subject for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry that's so sensitive. Okay. So you grew up with both parents?
Yes, I grew up with both parents, and then I also had extended family members.
Okay.
And I mean, one thing I can definitely say about my childhood, it taught me a lot.
Okay. And what did it teach you?
Well, it taught me to, love myself and, because like I'm still learning how to love myself, me having like ADHD and bipolar and,
Okay.
it's just like it has taught me how to like really, get to know myself and to embrace my shortcomings. It's just like I feel like growing up my shortcomings weren't really embraced, or it's also partly because, I just felt embarrassed to show certain parts about myself because I felt like I was going to get judged.
Oh, wow. And
Yeah.
why do you think you felt like that?
Well, I always felt like I had to walk on eggshells, and, my family members, they were just very like, kind of like those nitpicky, nice, nasty people, and, just like they wanted me so much to be like them rather than
Okay.
just like, me being me.
Okay. And what type of parents did you have? Like, what would you describe them as?
I mean, they were good people. I can definitely say they were, but it's just they had their own inner issues, and I just feel like sometimes they projected it onto me.
Oh, wow. Okay. Was it like church going type family or?
Yes, they were church going. Like my father, like he wasn't really a church goer, but my mother's side of the family, they would go to church just about every day, but they wouldn't really practice what they preach.
Oh, wow. Um, that's a bold statement. A lot of people do that.
Yeah.
They act like one thing, but it's something different. Like when you get to know them.
Yeah.
Wow. So I definitely understand what you're talking about. What challenges do you think that brought upon your life?
Well, definitely religious trauma because, sometimes I feel reluctant to be like, part of a Christian church, because for the most part I've been very open to other religions, but part of me still has like an interest for Christianity because I was taught, to pray, and I wasn't really raised in a church, but I feel like for the most part I was introduced to a church, but I never really found a church family, like a solid one.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have any siblings?
I do not. Well, because my chosen family, I consider them to be my siblings, but like when it comes to like my actual siblings, like I actually am the only child.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like I went through a lot by myself, but I'm still standing.
Right. You're definitely still standing here. How did it feel to be the only child growing up?
Honestly, I feel like it was nice at times, but then there are times where like I did wish to have a sibling, like that one person that I can grow up with and learn from, and because I feel like I really had to grow up fast. Like I didn't really have a lot of time for myself, but then it's like I don't know, because part of me just I wasn't like entirely too comfortable with myself, and I just feel like with being with a sibling, I feel like it would kind of help me with that confidence.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Was you like the spoiled child?
Yeah, I would say like the spoiled golden child, or honestly, I would say like more of like the child of the limelight. I was definitely spoiled.
Okay.
But yeah, just like I was always around people that are just like, they were just weird. Like they didn't have a lot of like, they didn't have genuine intentions sometimes.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and it's just like there were like some family members that just, I just didn't really click with, and they weren't really my soul people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any cousins?
Yeah, I have some cousins. I'm still like kind of distant from them too. Like,
Okay.
like they do their own thing, I do my own thing. So, but shoot, I have a new family. So like I have new cousins, I have new family members, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you say you have a new family,
Yeah.
what exactly does that mean?
So like what that means to me is just, people that understand me through and through, and people that, support me through like my shortcomings, and that help me to, really like understand, the kind of person I am, and, people that have patience with me, and people that just don't pick and choose what they want to accept.
Okay. And when did you meet those family members?
I met them. So I met my first friend, Matthew, in high school. He was definitely someone that was a huge supporter, and, we were both into learning Spanish, and I still want to like get back into learning Spanish more, and, because like I love other cultures, like I love like different cultures and other people, and honestly, I feel like there's just like something about other cultures that I feel like it works with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You seem very diverse. Yeah. So you did graduate high school.
I did.
Okay. Did you attend college?
Yes, I actually am trying to go back to school to finish my bachelor's degree. For a long time, I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do, but I've thought about being like an esthetician or a social work major. Yeah.
Okay. And esthetician. For the people that don't know what that is, can you explain that to them?
Yes. So an esthetician is basically somebody who is kind of like the same thing as a cosmetologist, but like they focus more like on skincare and nails.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. All right. And you already went to school for that a little bit, or you want to go to school for that?
I actually plan to go to school for that because I feel like that is like a very nice one, like a very nice a nice career. It's just like I feel like it'll just kind of help people to feel better about themselves, and then I can learn more about myself too through that work.
Okay, that's amazing. And that's pretty smart to go to school for that and learn that, because you will be learning yourself at the same time.
Yeah.
That's cool. You mentioned a few mental diagnoses.
Mm-hmm.
When were you diagnosed with those mental diagnoses? Or should I say mental diseases? Is that better?
Because I would say, because I'm actually like working on having a better relationship with my health, and just like as part of like just being able to embrace me, I wouldn't say that they're my like mental diagnoses, but I would say that they're more of like external features of me.
Okay.
It's just like they're just unique.
Okay.
And because like with my ADHD, like it just makes me so bubbly, and I've had ADHD, or been knowing that I've been ADHD since about sixth grade. Not sixth grade, but second grade. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And do you take like medication for those?
Well, at this present moment, I don't take ADHD medication. I was going to consult my doctor about that, especially like when I go to school, because, if I don't have the medication, I'm not going to do well.
Okay, okay. Well, at least you're being honest.
Yeah.
Okay. And, you said you don't take medication for any of the diagnoses?
For bipolar, I do, and it helps out a lot.
Okay. And, okay, you said it helps you out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
In what ways does it help you out?
Well, it definitely helps me to like even out a little bit, and for the most part, because sometimes I always feel like I'm kind of like on alert a little bit, so it's just like it's kind of a little bit weird, so to speak. It's just I feel sometimes like I can just feel like my exclamation point go off, like how sometimes when you're aware of your surroundings and you just like feel something off and strange.
Okay.
Kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. It's good that you're talking about that, because some people might be dealing with that, and they don't know how to fix the problem, or they don't know how to embrace it. So what would you say? Just find a doctor and take the medication, or what would you say to a person that's dealing with the same issues that you have?
Well, one thing to acknowledge about that, I would say, it's not something that you can necessarily fix, but it would be something that you would just have to, manage, and then also just be patient with yourself, because sometimes, I find myself, being hard on myself because of, the way that my symptoms show up. And
Okay.
sometimes just like with being in the environment I came up with, it just kind of like programmed me to believe I was too much, or
Okay.
so I just feel like you shouldn't feel ashamed to have bipolar disorder, because then again, it's not something that you asked for. So
That's right.
don't be like so hard on yourself. And then it's also okay to to be able to consult help about it, and to like ask for support, and just build a network of people that understand you.
That's right. Oh wow, that was pretty good. Yeah, you never know who might be watching this video that can learn from you.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, and you went to college for a little bit. Why did you stop going?
It was because of some unforeseeable circumstances. Because like it was combined with mental health and then family issues a little bit, and yeah, just like it just wasn't really the best year. It was a very rough year that year. It was back 2 years ago, and I'm just ready to restart the journey. And just like I just want to see like what's in store for me, and in this beautiful world. I mean, beautifully crazy world, should I say?
Right. I agree. Okay, and where was your life at that point after you stopped going to college?
It was rough, because, even like after I stopped going to school, it was like I was still kind of just up in the air about what I wanted to do, like what was my purpose. And for the most part, I think I was starting to formulate some sort of ideas, but I feel like, just taking that fall and just falling down for a moment, it kind of just gave me a moment to just, just to relax and unwind. And it just helped me to really understand, like, oh. And I just feel like along the way, I was slowly starting to figure out, like, what my path is, and here we go.
Right. What do you think kind of like woke you up and kind of gave you the insight of, okay, this is what I need to be doing right now? What was it? What happened?
That's a good question.
Was it like one of your day ones that said, hey, we need to do this? Or did you meet somebody along the way?
Yeah, like I would say that there were few people. Like I was admitted into a mental institution for a while, and
Okay.
it definitely helped me to wake up and to start realizing, I got to take more control over my life and more control over my mental health, because if I don't, who knows what would happen, down the line if I don't receive help, or if I
Right.
never ask for the help.
Right.
Because it took me a long time up until that point, and I felt ashamed of asking for help. But then I got to a point where it's like I want to start feeling better about myself. I don't want to feel like I'm angry. I don't want to feel just out of balance, or like angry, like I'm about to pounce on somebody.
Right. Why do you feel like you felt ashamed to ask for help?
Well, it's because like I've had a history of asking the wrong people for help and putting energy into the wrong people, unfortunately. And I feel like a lot of people go through that, and they beat themselves up. I mean, I beat myself up for a while, but then it's like, well, that's just part of you just learning yourself. And so it's okay to like make mistakes, and just give yourself grace.
Right. That was very important that you said that. You found yourself asking the wrong people for help. That was very big, because that can happen a lot through our lifetimes, where we'll be searching for answers, but we're asking the wrong people.
Yeah, and it just like it causes you to like stay stuck. And because of course I'm still figuring my way around people, but for the most part it's going to be a lifelong journey. It's just like just take whatever you learned from the previous situation and then just apply it to the next situation.
Right. You mentioned you had to go to a mental institution. How long was you there?
I was there for about a week.
Okay. Um, and what was the experience like?
The experience was very eye-opening. I feel like it helped me to like feel more understood. Just being around people that were just down on their luck and just not sure of like what to take. Course-wise, like let's just say like they probably like had that same effect that I had, where like I had to fall for me to like finally see like what's going on and what's got to give.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that. But at least you got help. That's what matters.
Yeah.
You took initiative to try to help yourself, and I appreciate that. And I'm glad that you got to that point in your life where you understood, like, okay, well, I need help. I can't do it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's very important. Okay, and you mentioned you stay in the Oxford House.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How is that helping you right now?
So right now, like I have a huge community of different women, going through the same struggles, and it's just like kind of teaching me to just like be easy on myself, and it's okay to like I said, like it's okay to fall, and it's okay to just ask for help, and to just have like a support system. You don't have to do it all alone. Because for a long time I felt like I was alone, and I feel like it's teaching me how to come out of my shell a little bit.
Okay. That's what's up. And how long do you plan on being there?
I can't really say. I feel like it just depends on how long it would take. I feel like I don't think there's really a definite time. It just depends on when I can, spread my wings and fly.
Okay. So it's not like a situation where they help you like with housing or things like that?
Yeah, they do. I mean, they help you with like being able to find a car. They help you to be able to, have like a sponsor, and it just like they help you a lot. Like they
Okay.
really do. Like shout out to them. And I saw like a really inspirational movie about the Oxford House, and like the AA meeting and NA meetings and how they came to be. And it was such a heartbreaking story, because like with the husband, he was the one that was addicted to alcohol, and his wife Lois,
Okay.
she was like really, really, really such a strong woman. Because honestly, like she went through a lot behind him, and she still stayed. And like a lot of people are wondering, like, why are you staying? All he's doing is drinking his life away. He's not making a living. He's not doing this or that. But it's like people have to understand that men, they go through pressure too.
That's right.
So it's just like this is a male dominated world, and you don't know what a man's going through. And I feel like men's mental health aren't really talked about either. I feel like it's not very much discussed, because of like that toxic masculinity mentality.
Right.
Which I can't stand. Like it makes no sense to me.
Yeah. Not me either. You're 100% correct. The men's mental health is really not talked about, and we need to talk about it more. Okay, so you're working, and you're staying in the Oxford House.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like you're getting yourself together right now.
Yes, I'm doing very well, and I'm so proud of myself. There was a point in time where, I felt like I wasn't doing enough, but then it's just like, just seeing the love from the universe, and just, feeling the vibe of the universe. And it's just like they're telling me, like the angels are telling me, hey, I'm doing an awesome job.
You are. Very much so. A lot of people are not even on the level that you are on right now. A lot of older people. So I would say keep going, keep doing you, and everything is gonna be okay. You don't have any kids, do you?
Not at this moment. I just want to be able to get myself together first before I have children. And yeah, so like the last thing I want to do is like repeat a generational cycle, and
Right.
I wouldn't be able to live with that.
Right. And are you currently in a relationship?
I am.
Okay. How long you been in a relationship?
So I've been in my relationship with Daniel. Daniel, like, he's a very supportive person,
Shout out to Daniel.
Shout out to Daniel, my fiance.
That's what's up. Okay. And where is he at right now?
So I think he's supposed to be coming to the station shortly because he just went to Walmart across town, and he told me, like, hey bae, I'm coming to the station, I'm ready to see you. And he was like, oh, I can't wait to see you.
Okay. And how does Daniel play a part in your life right now?
I mean, he's been in my shoes, like, in a lot of different ways, and honestly, I feel like he's just like the boy version of me.
Okay. That's what's up. Well, shout out to Daniel, and hopefully we can meet him on your next video or something like that. We've been going for about 25 minutes, so we're gonna put a pin in it right there. We talked about your mental health. We talked about a little bit of your childhood. You really didn't want to get in too particular on your family, but that's okay. We don't force anybody to say anything, and that's the good thing about this channel, because we try to hold people with the utmost respect. And this is not like an embarrassing thing. This is a channel for real life, real stories, and these are real situations that people go through, and that's why we want to put it on camera. Let's close out with this. What would you say to a little girl that might be going through some of the things you were going through as a little girl?
Well, personally, I would say you're a queen, you're beautiful, and just because people don't see your worth or they don't understand you, it doesn't mean that you're worthless. It means that you're powerful, you're one of a kind, and you're unique, and just don't let anybody take your power, your confidence away from you just because of what's going on with them.
That's right. I agree. Okay then. All right, if anybody wanted to contact you, do you have any social media sites? If anybody wanted to donate to you, do you have like a cash out or something you want to shout out?
Yes, so my Venmo is at JAYD24, and let's see what else. I also have Instagram. So Instagram, I have art_beauty25.
Okay.
And like, I love my Instagram site. Like, it's like a little it's like a little dream board.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got a Cash App or something?
I don't have a Cash App.
Okay.
Yeah, because I don't really trust Cash App.
If anybody wanted to get in contact with her, hit her up on Instagram. Follow her. If you want to donate to her, hit her up on Instagram, and I believe she could take it from there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, appreciate you for doing the interview. God bless you.
Love you guys.
All right.